Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's From Sinner to Saint video, as you could probably guess, I'll be reviewing St Kilda's 35-point win over the Bombers on Sunday, and it was a pretty complete performance. It's probably the closest to a four-quarter performance I think we've had. Usually I get nervous in the middle of a game, no matter what sort of point we're in. We could be up by 1 point or 100 points or down, you know, I'm always nervous, but there was no point in this game where I thought we could lose it. Even when they had a little bit of a run on, I still didn't think that we were ever going to give up that lead that we had. We started off really, really well. King was marking everything and kicking everything through the goals. Unfortunately, he could have had 3 in the first quarter. Could have had 4, technically. But yeah, he played on in the square and got tackled. That all comes with experience. And I was saying to my dad after it happened, I said 99 times out of 100, he goes back and kicks that. He just got a rush of blood and got tackled. But look, it didn't affect the game. At the end of it, Zach Jones played his best game for the club, 26 disposals. Battle played his best game for the club, 18 and a goal. Even everybody played their role. Ben Patton went out injured really early, got a concussion, and I think we just played on the side of caution. He didn't look 100%, but you know, that's fine. Hopefully we regain him for next Sunday's match. But like, you just look down at the stat sheet, and I'm looking at the fantasy. Even our second lowest, which technically is our lowest, minus Ben Patton, fantasy player was Bytel, and he had 13 disposals. I love about that is it was 13 handballs, and although, you know, you go, oh, well, we would have loved Bytel to kick it, just his handballs to Jones and to Hill and to Steele all game, they were opening up the ground, you know. What I don't like is a Tom Mitchell who has 30 disposals but has 27 handballs, but his handballs are just, he'll get the hands and he'll just give it off, who then gives it off. Whereas Bytel will get it on the wing, he'll handball it back inside, and then we go forward. So they're pretty effective disposals, even if they're only handballs. Our back six was unbelievable. They had 40 inside 50 entries, I'm pretty sure, and they had 8 scoring shots. I mean, they should be, every one of them should get statues at Marvel Stadium for that. It was unbelievable. It was so good. Caulfield had 7 intercepts. Hunter Clark had 20 disposals and just looked really good. We obviously weren't full strength. Carlisle was out and Patton was out, so a bit disappointing there. I would have loved to have seen that back line at 100%. Dougal Howard played really well. Ben Long had some really good attack on the footy, which was good. I just love his just ferocious attack on it. It's fantastic. Callum Wilkie played really well as well, so there's some really positive signs to come out of that back line for sure. Essendon had no game plan, and it was really, really odd. Usually you can sort of dictate how a team's going to play by quarter time, and I hadn't. And then usually if you haven't got it by quarter time, you usually have got it by half time. I still hadn't. 3/4 time? Nah, I don't know what they were doing. They just looked lost with it. And look, I know that they've got 10 or 12 of their best 22 out, but that's not a personnel problem. That's a game plan problem. And the problem is that there was none. I don't know what they just looked lost with it. They didn't know how to go forward. I mean, we'd set up really well defensively, but I think that that's quite easy to do when you're playing against somebody who allows you to do that. They were bombing it from 60 out inside 50 to a 14 on 14, and of course it's going to come out, you know. It was just really, really well done from our back six, and I couldn't be prouder, especially when we're going into games like Brisbane and Melbourne and West Coast and GWS to finish the season. So we really, really needed that performance from them. The thing I most loved about this game is that Steele had 21 disposals, but you didn't really know that he was there. Of course you knew he was there, but what I loved was that everybody just lifted. And you see, what I really, really loved about that performance is if Cripps plays badly for Carlton, everybody else has got to pull their weight twice as much. When Steele has a game like he did, still had 21, but it wasn't his most impactful performance. Nobody had to pull their weight. The sunlight just rose through the cracks, and we'd come out with Jones and Billings, and Hill probably played his best game for the club as well. So it was just really, really good to see, and I just loved that we had such good run. we just had a lot of space, which is really good. And I think that it's awesome going into next week. It's a good confidence booster. You know, we had it all our own way, and it was almost like a training drill. So that was even better. The ruck duo worked really well again with Ryder and Marshall. I think Marshall probably played the better of them. Just around the ground, he was a lot better. He had 16, but I don't know. I think that we rested them a lot during the game. I saw that usually when we go down forward, it's Marshall or Ryder, one of them's there, but at most forward, half deep, half forward contests, it was, for the majority, it was King or Membry. I'm just looking at the heat maps here. Marshall was about 60-30 or 70-30% attacking to defending. And Ryder, he was more of a defensive ruckman. So when Paddy was on and Marshall was off, Paddy was just sticking in the middle. Whereas when Marshall was on, he was up forward and in the middle. So I think that's a good thing. I think we need to sort of positionally manage them. I think Geelong does it really well. If Danger's looking a bit stuffed, they just chuck him down forward instead of, you know, making him play the rest of the game, you know, in the middle. Keep him on, allow him to still have that impact, but down forward where it's a little bit more low risk. And I think that was really important that we started to do that, because we can't have, you know, terrible bodies going into these next 4 games and hopefully further on into the finals. I do think that we took this second half very easily, and I'm fine with that. I think we sort of needed to. We've got a massive game coming up against the Lions on Sunday. The risk outweighed the reward to keep going hard. We just needed to put that game away, and we did. So I couldn't be more happy with that. Hopefully we can hit Brisbane head on and topple over the top of them after their tough game on Saturday. Into the votes now. Jones gets my 3, best game for the club in his 100th, fantastic. Battle gets my 2, best game for the club. And Caulfield gets my 1, he was a rock, and we couldn't have done what we did without him. So look, that's my review. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, please give us a like and a subscribe down below. All the normal stuff coming this week for the Lions game. Hope you enjoyed. Have a great day. Cheerio, sayonara, and goodbye.